You. What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy.
Lord, the numbers, a lot of people.
Next Gen 720. We're back with another video. Did AMD just let the cat out the bag when the minimum required specs for next generation consoles? We're gonna talk about that. Again, as always, a few guests are gonna swing by. You know what I mean? I haven't done a techie type video in a while. You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about that. Talk about a few things. Like I said, you know what I mean? And right after this, because I'm gonna set my stuff up, I'm gonna go live on Twitch, play some games, bug out with y'all. I haven't played the game for about a week. You know what I mean? You know, keeping it real, exposed, right? What's going on? Give me 1 second. Let me see what's up to everybody. One sec. Say what's up to everybody. Alright, there's somebody hitting me now. Check. What's going on here? Listen, they got your boy in Twitter jail. I'll talk about it during this. Do me a favor, said you guys come in. Somebody hitting. Who else is hitting me? Says I'm only the one in there. I'm in here with you, bro. What you talking about? D, you say you're the only one in here. Hold up. Let me send it to you again, D. Yeah. Here we go. What's going on? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, you'll be so kind. Well, they got your boy on Twitter, Joe. So if you listen, do me a favor, please. Tweet it out for me. Hit the like button, man. Yeah, man. They called the Twitter police on me, man. Join me live. Join me live. Next gen consoles will be at least. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. I'm on here now, bro. So I'm saying nothing crazy. I'm on here now.
Is it live?
Yeah, we're live right now, bro. We're live. We live right now, good brother. We're live right now. 7 point. Let's see. What you in the car, bro?
Yeah, I'm in the car.
No, you can. 7.4 T flops. Did you read the article I sent you?
No. What was the article about? I might have read it already. What was it about?
Oh, AMD came out and said, actually, AMD says native 4K resolution at 30 frames per second with PS4 image quality requires at least 7.4 T-flops. GPU, AMD developer. You know what I mean? It was asking them, like, you know, I guess more for next generation consoles. But, you know, basically, you know what I mean? At a minimum, to achieve 4K, native 4K at 30 frames, you're gonna need 7.4 T-flops compute power. You know what I mean? So it's at a minimum. The PS5 and the Xbox, whatever it's going to be called too, or whatever, it's going to be at least 7.4 T-flops, which is, again, a no-brainer. The X is already 6 T-flops. You know what I mean? I guess we could talk about that. Like I said, when you get home, you can hop in or you can stay now.
Yeah, I'm almost home, so I'll stay on, and then I'll be on for 3 minutes, and I'll jump upstairs and jump back on.
Okay, all right.
Well, to see to that, who said? A developer said that?
AMD developer, yeah, AMD developer.
Because really, I don't want to go against what he's saying, but on PC, you know, if you got, you know, a 6 teraflop GPU, you can get 4K 30 pretty easy, man.
What he's saying with the visuals of what?
cracked up, like
Well,
cranked
well,
up
well.
all the
I
way.
guess you said. Well, all right. Give me one second. I'm gonna paste it. Yeah, it said here. Hold on. He said here with the we said apparently the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro still don't have powerful enough specs to be able to properly render 4K visuals. It says the debate about 4K resolution in gaming and when they will become standardized has been at the forefront of our industry for some time now. Now, again, at the start of this generation, you know what I mean? A lot of, not a lot, but a few titles that came out, especially the beginning part of the range, they were 900p on the PS4, some 720p on the Xbox One, and Microsoft of course got ragged about that because 720p was the standard at least for last generation, right?
Right.
Whereas the PS4 was able to achieve 1080p more often than not, at least 1080p 30, right? So you have that. So now when you have what these call these mid-gen refreshes, you know what I mean, dynamic 4K and Microsoft saying true 4K. So again, for the next generation, whether the PlayStation 5 or uh, Xbox 2, whatever it's going to be called, the next generation Xbox, you know what I mean? And we had, I don't know with you, but I've had this conversation on this channel here. Will that? I guess you and Puerto Rico going back and forth with. Would 4K be the standard for next generation? At least 4K 30, or were again developers leave the option 1800p? Well, we said 4K 60, and upscale to 4K, whatever the case may
Well,
be.
I don't really know what Sony's roadmap is, but based off of what Phil Spencer's been saying, because he specifically said that this generation that the frame rates they weren't good, and that's an area that they can improve on. Now the Xbox One X pretty much damn well is having all the games at 4K. Most of the third-party games are native 4K. The odd one goes to 1800p or something like that, but most of the games are 4K. The
Mm-hmm.
first-party games are 4K. So already with the X, we're getting 4K 30 pretty much as a standard. So to think that the next Xbox is going to come out and it's going to be 4K 30 as a standard, I don't know. I don't know what you're smoking. If anyone that believes that's going to be, I think the next Xbox is going to be targeting 4K 60. Now, will it be ultra graphics? I'm not quite sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 4K 60 high. And the games that they can't get 4K out of for whatever reason, if they wanted to run it as ultra or whatever, I think they'll be choosing maybe 1800p 60. But I think at least for the next Xbox, that they're definitely going to be targeting 60 frames per second. Now, are there going to be some games that are going to be 30 frames per second? Of course. Not every developer is going to be up to par, and of course, the first year, it's like any console release. These developers are getting familiar with the system. So of course, there's going to be some games that are going to be 30 frames per second. I'm not saying every single game is going to be 60 frames per second, but I think they're going to be aiming at 60 frames per second to be the standard. Now, this developer saying 7.4 teraflops is needed for 4K 30, maybe for 4K 30, high, ultra, not having to worry about any settings, maybe. But I don't even think these next generation consoles are going to be 7 T-flops. I think they're going to be more. I think they're going to be at least between 9 to 10, maybe even 11 teraflops. I'm pretty sure of that.
Okay, so I mean, well, what's a GTX? I know they're not dealing with Nvidia, but Nvidia is more popular, and the most popular, I guess, graphics card amongst the hardcore guys in the community was a GTX 1080 Ti. What are the specs on that? What's the specs on a GTX
Uh,
1080?
1080 Ti, it has 11 gigabytes of RAM, and I can't remember off the top of my head if it's like 12 T flops or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's very very powerful. The majority of games run 4K 60 with that, and even though that's a quite capable GPU, not every single game runs 4K 60 with that GPU.
Okay.
And also, if you want 4K 60, some of the games you got to dial it back to like high settings.
Okay. Well,
But,
even
but,
with
but
the
there's a large amount of games that run 4K 60 Ultra on a GTX 1080 Ti. That's the best card you can get currently right now for gamers.
Okay, all right. Now here's the thing, right now, there's no secret that this generation that these consoles have very very anemic CPUs, right? Um,
Yes.
very anemic. And you got the whole API, what the GPU can't handle, what CPU can't handle, opposed to boost over to the GPU. I get it, right? Now going forward, I know you get teased about the whole Ryzen chip, and again, which is a very affordable chip, very and especially compared to Intel. I do know that much, right? Going forward, and for next generation consoles. Now, like you said, Phil did come out and say that frame rates, were horrible this generation, and like far as performance, and even with like you say the console community, the console peasants, even hearing them saying, because again, I always said this is my thing. I've always said the resolution wasn't that big of a deal, with, I guess, frame rates or whatever the case may be. And you even get some people say they'd rather take frame rate over resolution. So you're saying for next generation, right? Ryzen, maybe. What was it? What was it? Is
I don't think Ryzen is a maybe anymore at this point. Like, does anybody realistically think they're going to use a Jaguar core in the next generation?
Oh no, but what's after Jaguar? You know what I mean? I'm gonna be real. What's after Jaguar?
Well, the Jaguar was it just had, well, it was just really weak. It just had very small cache. You couldn't clock it high. The architecture was old and ancient, and Ryzen shits all over it. I'll tell you, Ryzen is making Intel shit their pants. Ryzen is taking market share from Intel. A lot of people are buying AMD processors now, where before it was a no-brainer. You just got Intel and that's it.
Yeah.
Especially with the second gen of Ryzen chips that are coming out, they're pretty much on par with Intel for a fraction of the cost.
Okay. All right. So, which is again we're talking about a business, right? Business, Microsoft, Sony. I don't screw Nintendo. Buying this shit in bulk, right? So after, like you said, you had the Jaguar cores, both Microsoft and Sony use very similar architecture, between the both. Just Microsoft's CPU was clocked a little higher for the original Xbox One. Now the Pro, more or less, and the X. The X has variants of what was it? Even though it's got like a modified CPU, but it's still Jaguar cores, right? With some.
Yeah, it's still Jaguar core. They just they painted it up a little bit prettier. To be fair, it runs better than the regular Jaguar. They did tweak it out,
mm-hmm.
and that's why we get better performance on a lot of games on the X, not just graphically but frame rate rise.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's nowhere near capable of what the Ryzen architecture is doing currently in the market.
Okay, which was cool, it's understandable, right? So we're gonna say in 2019, 2020. Somebody's launching, or you're definitely gonna have, if not both Microsoft and Sony out by 2020, one of the two may be out next year, or at least announcement for next consoles next year.
If I could touch on that, and I've said it before. It's not the first time I'm saying it. I really think Sony's gonna launch next year. I think Sony's gonna launch next year, and I think Microsoft is gonna launch in 2020. I hope they don't have a knee-jerk reaction and feel that they need to launch next year. Stick to your guns, and because if they realistically, if the PlayStation 5 launches next year, the next Xbox is a year to make a much more capable system and see the mistakes that Sony has made and improve on it, right? So,
mm-hmm.
And the X, and let's be honest, the X is a very capable console. So if the next PlayStation 5 comes out next year, the X, at least for the first year, will hold its ground against the PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have a lot of cross-gen games in the early going, anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the games right away out the gate aren't gonna really truly show the system's power, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it comes down again to the multi-plats. You're gonna have a shitload of like everything. You're gonna have a shitload of multi-plats. Probably looks shinier on the newer hardware, whatever the case may be, right? Hold on, I'm trying to open the page up, which is cool. It is what it is. And then you're gonna maybe have, not saying Sony's gonna put out a knack, but those type of titles. And this has been Sony's track record. Went further into the console generation. Sony starts to release their AAA games, and it's not with them. You know, we again, you look at Ghost of Tsushima, you look at what do you call it? The Last of Us. Literally, like Mike, Sony totally moved the generation. So you know what I mean? It's just cool. So again, now according to this developer here, he's saying with at least those visuals there we see on the PlayStation 4, those type of titles, to achieve a native 4K, you're going to need at least 7.4 T flops, right? Now, but here's the thing though, you know, in a new generation, sometimes you get new engines. You know, what do you think the engines are going to change? You think we go from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5? You know what I mean? Or what does Ubisoft use? No,
Frostbite, I think.
No, the Frostbite is EA.
Ubisoft uses not Frostbite, Snowdrop. No,
Yeah.
Snowdrop. I can't remember the name right now, but yeah, they have their engine as well. Their engine's heavily focused around DX12 though. Yeah, the API makes a big difference. Like, you know, you also have the Vulkan API that's out there, you know, which is very efficient. Some say even more efficient than the DX12.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the API, it does make a big difference on the title. And you know, I have to read the interview, but just from, you know, what you've just told me right now, taking it in context, 7.4 does sound accurate for 4K 30, like not having to worry about any setting, like to run everything at freaking max, not have to cut back from anything. I can stand behind that statement. But I really don't think these next gen consoles are going to be 7 T flops. I think they're going to be higher than that.
Oh yeah. I mean, the X is already 6. I don't, you know, I hope. I mean, not a hope, but I mean, I would say at a minimum 8. If the Pro was already 4.2 T flops, I would hope Sony would at least double the power of the PlayStation 4 Pro. I mean, it is a new generation. You know what I mean? It says here, hold on. It says here the debate between 4K. Pretty soon, more every. I would probably, even though 2 enhanced doesn't have the specs able to support 4K proper 4K specifications. While speaking with the gaming magazine, The Edge, AMD's Timothy Lutz mentioned that to achieve 4K resolution for a game that looks like a regular PS4 title at a frame rate of 30 frames per second, a game needs about 7.4 teraflops per second. Interesting enough, though, both the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X fall short of this requirement, with the PS4 coming in at 4.2 teraflops and the Xbox One X at 6 teraflops. Is able to squeeze that.
Yeah, I can somewhat agree with that. You know, I guess if he's talking about all the settings wrapped up, and you know, some of the Sony games, you know, they are high on the features, and Sony has to cut back on the resolution in order to get that output. So I can understand him making that statement. I want to say though that the rumor making the rounds in the tech community is that Navi is as powerful or a little bit more powerful as a GTX 1080 Ti. That's the rumor. So now, if the PlayStation 5 is going to be having the Navi architecture inside of it, of course it's a console, so it gets a little bit downclocked. But still, you know, you.
Hello. What the hell happened to D?
Did I get cut off?
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Oh, my bad.
Shout out everybody in the chat. Yeah, you want to go hit me? You want to turn upstairs?
Did you hear what you just said?
What'd you say, bro?
Did you guys hear what I said about the Navi?
No, you went out.
Oh, I was saying that the rumor going around the tech community is that the PlayStation 5 is going to have a Navi GPU in it, and the rumor is that the Navi GPU is a little bit powerful or as powerful as a GTX 1080 Ti.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if this rings out to be true, that shouts out more than 4K 60 frames per second for next generation games. Now, I think because I'm at the bottom of my building here, I think I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. That's why we're having the issues. So I'm just gonna go upstairs and I'll reconnect. All right?
All right, no problem. All right. Hey man, that's for y'all hard in the chat, man. Y'all hard crowd to please in the chat. Y'all hard. Let's give my man D. No, listen, man. You know, listen. I'm gonna say this for the record, right? I think I give my man D a hard time. It's not that D don't know. It's D's an enthusiast. D just goes by what they should have, man. You know what I mean? But even let me shut you. He's in the way. I'm trying to everybody out in the chat right quick. D Almighty 6996 material weapon. Rafiza was good. Enjoy your time at the beach, Rafiza. Lex Prez 2010. Zeus Davis. I'm streaming today, brother. Got me a monitor. You got me another monitor. You made fun of me yesterday. Who's next? Was good? Emerald 14. What's going on, good brother? Emerald. Stoshua. The King 90. Bad motherfucker. XP Gamer Ghost. What's good, baby? Mario Sannon. Predator Kingdom. Alex. What's up, good brother? Alex. Rambo Black. Jordan Dizzle. Overdone. What else we got in here? Modest. Ready. Musty Mom. Neverland Lex. What's up? King B. What's good? Hey, King B, what's going on, baby? You got a King B. Shout out to King B. He bought the PlayStation Pro off me, man. And he was short. Shout out to King B. It's my dude, though. What else we got in here? Brett Cummings. What else we got? Flip Bayless, what's going on? J979. Listen, man. I gotta put the link to the Discord. If your jokers ain't a part of the Discord, we going down in the Discord, man. Yeah, we had a very interesting conversation in the Discord today, man. Gaming and Grind, what's going on? Draco, what's up, baby? Yeah, my shit was kind of wild this morning, man. In Discord. What morning for me? I ain't an early bird, man. King Wave, what's up? Wheelchair Wave, what up, baby? It said my man Wave in the wheelchair. It's my dude, though. Septic Meatball, what's going on, good brother? How you feeling, man? Spider Silver, what's going on, baby? Tizzy Bevan, what's good? MK. Mario Sen, Gold Liner, what's up, baby? Kate Fletcher, what's up? Chris Righteous. Chill Chris Mafia. I think I got everybody right now. The Black Ranger Rex, I got everybody. Brett Cummings, yeah. Michael, the Sociopath, shout out to you too. Paul. Z, are you sugar free? I try to be diabetic free, man. What's what? Yeah. But anyway, Kirk the Roos, what's going on, baby? Kirk the Roos said PlayStation 5 7.4 T-flops versus Xbox One X6 T-flops. Now, listen, this is just a minimum of what he was saying. It's a no-brainer that these consoles, or those next generation consoles, will have at least double what they have now. If the Pro is already 4, now I can see if the Pro didn't come out. Imagine this, right? This is a good thing. Imagine the Pro didn't come out. Imagine the X didn't come out, right? And the Pro and then the X were both Microsoft and Sony's next generation offerings. That's why I told you guys I wasn't really against like mid-gen refreshes, or just think about it. Imagine if we didn't get the Pro and we didn't get the X, but then the Pro and then the X were Microsoft and Sony's next generation offerings. And think about it, because again, I'm gonna say this again: that 8 and 9 year console cycle that went happening last generation, very unhealthy for gaming, as far as tech wise. You know what I mean? And when the X and the PS4 launched, they was already so far behind the curve. You know what I mean? This generation, we should be at a minimum, should be at least 60 frames. You know what I mean? At least 60 frames being the minimum. Outside of fighters, shooters. Well, not just the shit. Destiny's still 30 goddamn frames. You know what I mean? It's sports. So you got fighters, sports, and normally races are always 60 frames. But you got the Assassin's Creed, the first person, not the third person action adventure game. They're normally whatever 1080p 30 or dynamic 30. You know what I mean? But so at a minimum, you know what I mean? And we have this conversation on this channel before. Like, will 4K become the standard for next generation consoles? What's more important to you guys for next generation? Is it better graphics, 4K 30, or better graphics, a minimum of 4K 30, or 4K 60? What's more important to you? I would take better graphics and 60 frames mandatory than to having a mandatory of 4K. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Okay, what's a better performance? Either, but why not both? Because again, it's a business, and both Microsoft and Sony, they're not to save money. You know what I mean? And also too, the more power or whatever the case you give developers, they're They make the game prettier. You know what I mean? I don't. Listen. I won't be surprised if 60 frames is not the standard for next generation. We're still gonna get those single player games, the Assassin's Creeds, and they probably be prettier, but it probably still be a 4K 30. You know what I mean? But me, like I said, and we should be able to say the best of both worlds. I mean, it's not a PC, but I would take better graphics and whatever the resolution is, and 60 frames any day of the week. Tip Diamond, what's good, baby? Listen, they got your boy on YouTube, Gel. So if you be some kind, like I said, to hit the thumbs up button and tweet it out for me. You know what I mean? You know, me right there. I can't tweet it out, man. I can't tweet it out. Said 2K 120 frames per second. Yeah. 2K 60 Ultra. Alright, man, listen. 2K. We've been getting better graphics for years. It's time to end with this console has the best players. Crossplay should be a must. If it uses the same OS, let me check it out. Right. This dude. Yeah, I'm back in Twitter jail, man. Have you seen the fight I had on Twitter yesterday? What do you mean the fight, man? That's why I gotta leave them jokers alone. They called the Twitter police on me yesterday, man.
Again?
Yeah, man. They got into a Bond. You know how Bond starts this shit. I'll put him in his place, and the next I'll put Bond in his place, and then next time I know I was in Twitter jail, man. But look, I asked the audience, the chat, a question, right? Guys, listen, do me a favor, please. They got me.
Before you read that question there, I noticed as I was getting off, people were probably going ham on me in the chat. Now, I just want to say this here. Like, of course, sometimes, you make predictions and, they don't come out to be what you make them to be. It doesn't mean you don't know tech. Now, I'm going to tell you guys.
I tell them it all the time, D. I tell them
this is what I actually do for a living. Now, I'm going to just show you guys something real quick here.
Hey, D, you ain't got to go through all that shit, man.
But you know what? These guys always get on me. So let me just show them something here. Can they see that? Now, this is a build that I'm working on right now. Okay? This is the GPU that's going into it. Like this is what I do. So when you guys out there saying I don't know what I know what I know. I do this for a living. That's the last time I'm going to address that. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, it ain't that serious, bro. You know what I mean? But bro, they get on me, shit, man. Power's like, man, it is what it is. But you know what you gotta do? I'm gonna tell you real shit going for it, right? This is just the internet, bro. Whether you have the biggest channel, the smallest channel, or it is what it is, man. You just gotta get like me. I don't pay it no mind. Like this shit doesn't even bother me. Like, but it is what it is, man. So you just say thicker skin. You just very passionate about it. You gotta just take it for what it is and just keep it pushing, man. But anyway, like I said, I mean, you're very knowledgeable. Like I said, I've always said you know this tech. I just said that you're very passionate about it, and if don't accept mistake, you go by what they should have, and not really thinking that this is a business. They in it to make as much money as they can. If whatever's cheap, right, and say if they're gonna save, they can save if Navi's cheap or whatever, for an example, right. That doesn't mean they're going to pass off the savings to the consumer. This is businesses. These motherfuckers are hogs. They wouldn't eat anything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said before, you got off the air, and I said this right. I said imagine if we didn't get the Pro, imagine if we didn't get the X, right? And Microsoft and Sony's next generation offering was the Sony's next generation offering was the Pro. And Microsoft next generation offering was the X, right? Still a big advantage, a big leap over, I guess, not big, but the standard X was what 1.3 T flop, whatever the hell.
Yeah, it was a big jump.
Yeah, and the Pro was, the standard PS4 was 1.8 T flops, and Pro was 4.2. So I don't think no one would complain. Like, damn, by this 4.2 T flops or whatever the case may be. But imagine we didn't get these mid-gen refreshes, right? That's what I was always a fan of. It is what it is, right? And we didn't get the X, we didn't get the Pro, and the PlayStation 5 was the Pro, and Microsoft next generation X console was the X, right? No one would have complained. We'd have been happy with what we got right there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, things would be a little different if games was developed, from the ground up. For me, a little better. But going into next generation, like we already set the standard now, you know what I mean? And more or less, you hear the conversation on the topic changing from moving back from first I think was 1080p, now is whatever. Regardless, we're not gonna deal with it because who has the more powerful console even. But you know, you hear even the casters talk about going away from 4K or to dynamic 4K, or but it's all about the frames, right? Performance, right?
Yeah.
So again, next generation. Do you think? Well, here's my thing. I would rather have 60 frames being standard and better graphics. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? In better graphics. And then, or having 4K, and again, it's still at 30. You know what I mean? I would rather have better graphic, beautiful worlds, and 60 frames, whether it's 1800p or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you feel about that? Or
Well, I'm exactly the same. Like all these, so-called PC elitists, everybody and their mama has a PC, and half of them don't fucking own shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But to be honest with you, those of us that do, unless you have a GTX 1080 Ti, you're not really getting 4K 60 frames per second. You're gonna have to dial it back. Now, I have a Vega 64, and in some games, yeah, it does perform 4K 60, but a lot of games it doesn't, and I have to dial it back to like 1800p, 1900p, whatever I have to do to get 60 frames per second, and I always do that. I'll never run a game. Maybe I'll run it for a little bit just to see what it looks like, but I'll never run a game that's 4K 30 when I can run it 1800p 60 frames per second. It's just I just won't do it. 60 frames per second, the fluidity of that game, it just looks better. Not only does it play better, but it looks better. 660 frames, it needs to be the standard for consoles, and I really think it will be the standard for consoles, because how many years have consoles been stuck at 30 frames per second? Like, it's got to stop somewhere.
Okay. Does that well, here's the thing. I can't even say it comes down to developers, because
yes,
they give you the option for 60 on PC, right?
You know what? I don't know really if they give you the option for 60 on PC, because every game on PC does 60 frames per second. It's just, do you have the hardware to support it?
Okay.
And now you got 1440p 144 hertz monitors. You got guys playing games at 120 frames per second. So 30 frames per second, it's looking kind of crazy right now, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me see. Let me bring up the article. You see the article. Description and it's a very complex layer process that which means that developer I don't know, code masters all right, lead graphics programming. Onrush, which does achieve native 4K on the X but not the PS4 Pro, has some insight on this, which he shared with Edge. When used simple reconstruction techniques to provide a unified anti-aliasing and upscaling solution for 4K, that does a really good job. And I want to say this again: upscale 4K, dynamic 4K. Listen, I'm on the record as saying this. Now you're more of the techie guy. I can't really tell the difference between the native upscale or upscale. I have a decent TV. Everything looks good to me. I'm cool with that, right?
Right.
And again, so they just talking about, because I will say this: Microsoft this generation got caught with their pants down. What I mean when I say that, and it's, they sacrificed the specs of the console a little bit to include a peripheral that no one really wanted, and that they didn't even support, right? We can agree with that. And the talk around town was about resolution. No, when the majority of the games, especially the multiplats last generation, ran better or maybe at a higher resolution time, like I said, than the PlayStation 3. I didn't really hear anything about, resolution and stuff for last generation. Like, this all stuff was new to me, right?
Yeah.
So, next generation with the, again, PS5, the Xbox One. Is because you do have the digital foundries out there, which again, they kind of fuel the console war, you know what I mean? Resolution is still a topic or no? Or you think that, because I really don't hear about that much anymore now, you know what I mean? And it is what it is.
To be fair, you don't hear anything much about it now, because the narrative has changed from resolution to frames per second now, and now you got the reconstruction and checkerboarding, so they're not making such a big deal. And I'll be the first to admit that some checkerboarded games, although I can tell the difference, I can see how the average Joe would not be able to tell the difference, because they look really good. Because when I dumb my games down from 4K to 1800p. yes, it's sharper at 4K, but 800p doesn't look bad at all. You know, it's still very, very sharp.
Okay. Well, again, like I said, one thing I always say too, what we can tell the difference is graphics and who has the better quote unquote graphics, which is to me which is important. You know, I'm a rage. I told you I would take video before brains, graphics, any day, right? Who's playing inboxing? Can I rock? Oh, okay. Hold up. Yeah. Hold on. I got some people joining. Which going to hop in here with us? Mighty Moss. Hold on, me Moss the link. See my brother Moss the link. My brother Mighty Moss the link. Yeah, they got me in Twitter jail, so I couldn't put. You got to tweet it out for me, man. Let me send Moss the link. I got you, Moss. Bam. Here we go. Bam. All right, here we got some more people. But guys, listen, ladies and gentlemen in the chat again. You'd be so kind. Hit the like button for your boy, please. It costs you nothing, man. You enjoy the shows, enjoy the conversation. Hit the like button. We know you guys can cut up in the chat. So look, you know I can't tweet out anything, so you know you guys like to cut up in the chat. Great news after feeling right.
But I will say this, though, Z. Next generation, you're going to get the juicy graphics that you so desire, because ray tracing is going to be a big thing of next generation. It's going to be baked into DX12. So you know at least on the Microsoft side, they're going to be doing it.
Oh, ray tracing?
Yeah, and that's going to make...
We've been talking about that for a minute, though. In about an hour, you know what I mean? Here's the thing, right? I know you're into the stuff, and the average Joe may not know what ray tracing is or whatever the case may be. But whatever the fuck Sony's doing, whether they're using ray tracing or not, or you know what I mean, or whatever, looking at that Ghost of Tsushima, looking at that the Last of Us 2, you know what I mean, fine, hey, you know what I mean.
You cannot doubt it. Sony, I'm an Xbox guy, you know that, but I like games. I have all the consoles, and I'll be the first to say it, that the guys over at Sony, the developers that they have over there, they are wickedly amazing. Like the games that they're creating are incredible. You know, some people clown me for saying, "Oh, you said these games are next gen," but even Digital Foundry said, you can't blame anybody for thinking that these games are next gen, because it's just so amazing what they're able to crank out on the current hardware. The developers over there, kudos to them, man. They're amazing. I got nothing bad to say about them.
Mighty Moss, you there, good brother?
What's up, peoples? What's going on?
Hey,
what's up, D?
What's up, man?
What's going on? Hey, Moss, they got your boy in handcuffs.
I see,
about
man.
enough. You put your hands on me again. Bond said, you put your hands on me again, I'll put your ass in handcuffs.
They are like Latifah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Word
they
is
should be
born.
throwing stones and hiding their hands, man. What's wrong
They
with these
do,
dudes,
man. And hey, bro, listen, man. I tell people all the time, man. And they look at it like this. I'm saying, listen, sidebar the show. Here go the ghetto part of the show. We'll get back to talk about the show. That or when they was riding me and I don't say nothing or respond, you want the whole collapse and I just say, because again, I'm new to this format, just back and forth. I have to learn. Now everything rolls like a board over a duck's back. If I respond, I respond. But I keep telling these jokers they not like, they be flagging my. I got so many strikes, and that's what my channel fucked. I'm not gonna be a YouTuber. Or they be flagging shit, but they don't say it like that. I'm telling these motherfuckers flag my videos, and they threatening me. Then they putting restraint on the shit. Was why I went through a lot of shit. Fuck with them dudes. That's why I don't really fuck with them at all. Ain't about no game. Besides the other shit they say, but these jokers. Listen, I'll put in Discord. If you think I'm bullshit, these jokers be flagging. You know what I mean? I'll show the proof in the Discord. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But he's fucking with me when I respond, when I lash back out. Now you want to call the Twitter police? Like, come on, bro.
If they can't clown you, they try to crown you. Man.
It is what it is, man. But it's so is life, man. We'll keep it pushing, man. But anyway, Mighty Moss, nothing to weirdos, man. Again,
I got my own take on this, right? So I'm going. I like to start shit. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to come off with some way off shit, and then I'm gonna bring it to you why I think this is what's gonna happen. I don't know. I know D, you still think that the next gen consoles are coming out. Both of them are coming out next year, right?
No, I think Sony's gonna come out next year, and I think Microsoft is 2020.
Okay. Now here's why I think it's going to be the reverse. And we've been, hey, look, I've been preparing. I've been studying like I'm studying for the SATs after I cut school all year, man. Look, I've been studying for this project I'm working on. because we're gonna take the biggest knife out the drawer. We're gonna cut out this whole Terry Myerson as the destruction of the world bullshit. And I found out so much shit about Satya's vision, Terry Myerson's involvement, Phil's involvement, that, and I'll bring that out at a later time. But I really think that what they're doing is they're going to really ramp the power up of this box, and they want to come out ASAP because they're really going to push this cloud initiative, right? They're going to Microsoft as a company as whole, everybody from Windows to Xbox, they're converting over to this cloud state of mind to where they don't care about individually selling software anymore. They want to sell cloud subscriptions. And Xbox version or input in that cloud subscription whole mantra is Game Pass. So I really think they're going to come out with a powerful system that can really bring some fidelity to the whole streaming service, but they want to bring this shit out now. So I'm thinking that the Surface team is going to work on the latest iteration of the Xbox 2. They're going to get that shit out 2019 because that's what Satya wants. And I think that Sony themselves said, they said to Michael Pachter, I know, Mike, you can trust him as far as you can throw his dumbass, but Michael Pachter verbatim claims that when he spoke to Sony, that Sony said, yo, we're not hard pressed to bring out shit yet. We're trying to reach 150 million PlayStation 4s. We meant that. So if you do the math, they still got 2 more years before they reach that benchmark. So I don't think PlayStation 4 or 5 is till 2020. And Xbox One, they're really pushing this cloud thing, man. Wait till I drop this shit, man. It's crazy, man.
Well, here's the thing, right? The reason why I say it like this, as far as Sony's will be released next year, because you have the leak from Infinity Ward for next generation Call of Duty games, and they're next up. They're called, they have 3 teams. They have Sledgehammer, they have Treyarch, and they have Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward's Call of Duty is due next year. You know what I mean? And did a video and it said they're hiring for a scripted writer or something for the next generation Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Or for next generation console. Now, this generation started in 2013. I know they ain't calling the PS4 and the Xbox One next generation consoles because they're the only console. They don't make games for the 360 and the PS3 anymore. You know what I mean? So and again, their Call of Duty is due in 2019, right?
Yeah.
So somebody, you know what I mean, whether it's Google, whoever, is going to be there tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be there next year. And again, the only way to guarantee a win for Microsoft, because you heard what Phil said. He says that he likes saying he has the world's most powerful console. He likes saying that, right? Is that they're going to have to launch after Sony to guarantee? Because even like Sony doubled down the RAM. The PS4 was only supposed to have 4 gigabytes of GDDR5. They at the last minute changed it to 8. The developers didn't even know. Their dev kits they sent them only had 4 gigabytes of GDDR4. You know what I mean? They didn't find out until right before launch that it was actually going to have 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM. You know what I mean? So I guess the only way to secure that, if that's the case, is that again they're going to have to come out a year after. You know what I mean? Or right after, or right along. You know what I mean? Well, here's the thing: I don't, or them meet. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to meet them their day and date. You know what I mean? Or they can't launch before them. I just say that they can't launch them before them. You know what I mean? Maybe even be a suicide mission to release day and date, especially if you're not going to get anything new game wise. And look at what Sony has up the pipe. They have Uncharted 2, whether you like it or not, it's huge for them. The Ghost of Tsushima, whether you like it or not, is going to be huge for them. Spider-Man's going to be huge. You know what I mean? That was said Death Stranding. I'm not too sure about that. They have another Neo coming out. You know what I mean? Before the generation is over. And then again for Microsoft, not to sound like say Gears of 4s, and you know what I mean. We getting a Gears next year, but about it, and Gears another Forza. You know what I mean?
I would. That's the traditional, and I know that's something P Rock said, and it's very logical. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to P Rock. That's very logical. However, this Microsoft, man, they're not working on a logical timeline when it comes to gaming anymore. And there's a lot of stuff we miss. So, for instance, when we say that they want to come out because they want to keep the mantra of the most powerful console, I think that was true earlier on this generation. I know Phil said that recently, but because they were getting hammered with that, right? They were just losing across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look recently at what happened, they dropped the X, most powerful console in the world, but God of War comes out not too long afterwards, and it looks better than pretty much, as far as visual, implementation looks better than anything on the X. Directly after that, a 68 Metacritic buggy game, quote unquote, releases and beats that game and beats Detroit 2 Human, which everybody says looks wonderful as hell, right? Again, if you look at Microsoft's vision, which is heavily monitored by Satya, I don't think coming out, quote unquote, next generation with the most powerful console at the onset is their biggest concern for one reason. For one, I think they're looking for power for their streaming service. As long as they can make their streaming service look good, hence why they're coming out with games like Sea of Thieves that really don't have that much graphical prowess to them. And two, they got the Surface team. They're planning on dropping the way at the shit I've been looking at. They're looking at dropping shit like every 3 years, like cell phones. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's a way to look at it. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Again, shout out to my brother, the Ruham. I appreciate the 5. Appreciate it, good brother. He didn't ask a question. I was switching screens. I appreciate it, good brother. Did you did it?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. D back there working on that $12,000 PC. Here's the thing, Mos, right? Check it out, right? Now the title of the show, again, basically the AMD leaked the minimum specifications for PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, right? Whatever the next Xbox is going to be called, right? He said you need at least a minimum 7.4 T-flops of compute power to achieve native 4K at 30 frames a second with everything, where the game is looking as good as PlayStation 4, right? More or less. What we have now, but better, right? And I said, I don't know if you heard this thing, and I said, imagine if we didn't get the X, imagine we didn't get the Pro. The Pro and then the X could have been both Microsoft and Sony's quote-unquote next generation offering, right? Now, we know we didn't have the Pro and the X now for about a year, 2 years now. That new, I said the honeymoon phases is over, right? Already, right? It is whatever. Some people didn't upgrade them. That's why I wasn't against the Pro or the X. I like the faster, prettier. That's just me, right? At a minimum for next generation, what are you saying? You're gonna say 8, 10, at least the power. I know that they don't deal with NVIDIA, AMD. I think the GTX was 1080 or Ti is like at least 10 T flops. Do you think the next generation consoles will at least 10 T flops? And will 60 be the mandatory? Or you still think we're going to be dealing with 30?
Is that for me or D?
You.
Oh, for me? Again, I think Sony's going to go the traditional route. They're going to really push for 4K 60. Performance is going to be important. And I think that Microsoft might want to make sure that all this cloud gaming and stuff like that can perform 4K 60. I think that their biggest thing that they're going to be looking for, again, is how to utilize the cloud service and the cloud gaming that have the streaming work with the lowest latency, all that other stuff, and still have it look good. You know what I mean? And if 4K 60 is going to be is going to be the true 4K 60 is going to be the output, fantastic. But as far as them having power in the sense of their games are going to look better than Sony's games, I'm wait till this shit. I don't think that's their biggest concern anymore. I think they're looking at having good performing games that can work with the cloud service, and games that can generate a lot of revenue off of the service-based model.
Okay. Again, so you're basically saying more State of Decays, more Sea of Thieves.
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely.
Okay. Now being a hardcore fan or whatever, how does that make you feel? You know what I mean? Listen, here's the thing, and I tell people all the time, right? It seems like the roles have reversed. I'm used to the Xbox having the more powerful console. Well, not so much power, but the better looking games. Even going down to the OG Xbox. I remember getting to these little console debates on GameSpot or Game Wars. Oh, yeah, the Xbox got better graphics. You know what I mean? Now, here's the thing again. Sony less powerful console, but games look better graphically. You know what I mean? And again, remember I asked Phil, mature games and realistic games, whatever the case may be. He told me it was just timing bullshit. You know what I mean?
They didn't think about it.
But like again, this has always been basic, business 101. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look, I don't care for Nintendo, right? But Nintendo does good at developing for their hardware, whatever, at least 60 frames, and they do the same goddamn two-step, but Nintendo's Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand what the fuck happened, what flopped, like, you know what I mean? What the hell changed? What you know what I mean?
Here's what happens, Z. Both Nintendo and PlayStation doubled down on what their fans cared about, and Microsoft is trying to change its fan base. That's basically what happened. For instance, the Nintendo weirdos don't give a fuck about no 4K 60. They don't care about that shit. Or they wouldn't be playing no goddamn Wolfenstein that look like Wolfenstein 3D on the guy. You know what I'm saying? With Baron's Zelda type wearing ass.
That's asinine. What are you talking about? Some of the highest rated games in history. That's asinine.
I mean, they don't care about that. PlayStation gamers, they care about story. They care about cinematics and things like that. And they also care about good-looking games too. You know what I'm saying? Hence why at the beginning when they were quote-unquote didn't have any games, people were willing to wait because they did somewhat have the power narrative, but they had a slew of indies. PlayStation gamers like volume. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I fuck around. I told them a lot, and I say they remind me of Golden Corral mugs. You know what I'm saying? Where they like 50 variations of shit that all taste like onions. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's how they like and then they're willing to wait 6-7 years to when their bangers come out. Their God of Wars, their Horizon Zero Dawn. They'll do that, and they'll look at y'all. Y'all ain't got shit now, Microsoft. Yeah. Microsoft is known for making acquisitions and putting their money where their mouth is to say, look, you got a cool idea. Can we give y'all like 20, 30 million to help boost it along? And you give us some type of exclusivity. Now, the thing with Nintendo happened, the thing with PlayStation happened. That thing with Microsoft ain't happened this generation, in large part because what did Randolph Thor tell us? Randolph Thor told us that Phil specifically said, I don't think it's worth buying games, piece by piece. Yeah. You know what I mean? To where if you think that's a cool idea, investing in the future and not getting nothing now, great, fantastic. What they call it, delayed gratification. Yeah, but fuck that. I'm not with that. I bought your system now. I paid $500 now. I wanted to see it to come to fruition now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get that. I don't get that approach.
I just want to address a few things here. In the chat, I see some guys saying, "Oh, the next generation systems are going to be like 13 teraflops." Now, the GTX 1080 Ti is when you overclock it, it's about 12 teraflops. I think standard is like 11.4, 11.5. Once you overclock it, it's like 12 a little bit. I think the next gen consoles, I think they're going to be between 9 to 10, max 11. I think that's really pushing it. I think they're going to be 10 because, a console's a lot more optimized. You don't have to worry about a lot of other things. I think 9 to 10 teraflops is enough for them to get 4K 60 frames per second on, most games at least high settings. Now if they want to go to the ultra settings, then maybe they might need 12. I'm not quite sure because, once again, these guys, they optimize these games for the consoles. You guys thinking that it's going to be 13 teraflops? I'm sorry to disappoint. I just don't see that.
No, I ain't no 13. No, hell no.
And I think Sony sees what Sony's paying attention. That's why they're not afraid. That's why I said when Sony told Michael Pachter, that look, man, we ain't gotta come out no time soon with shit. We ain't gotta go through the R&R and the throwing the extra money. We're trying to sell 150 million PlayStation 4s. I believe that because they see that Microsoft ain't really trying to square up with them like that anymore.
I in all honesty though, I think they can release another console and still sell that many PlayStation 4s because all they have to do is once they release a new console, lower the price of the regular PlayStation Slim, lower the price of the PlayStation 4 Pro. People will still buy it. Not everybody's going to be able to afford a new console, And if you get the PlayStation 4 down to the magic price point of $200, that shit's going to sell like hotcakes.
But do you know what PlayStation 3's biggest problem was? So here's another myth I'm going to bust. I'm going to do something on this too. That Microsoft did win last generation. Now people will say, no, Sony sold more consoles. I think that part of it was debunked. But even if that part wasn't debunked by Aaron Greensberg, Sony got slaughtered in software sales. Yeah. That's where money is made. Okay, yeah. So we need to drop that shit. The problem I see with that, D, is PlayStation 3's problem last year is that they were trying to create a console that was going to last gamers 2 generations at a $600 price point right when the economy was about to fall. All right. Mm-hmm. Sony had an article recently where they stated, look, we learned all of our dumb shit from the PlayStation 3 era, and we will never do it again. And so I think that their mind state, from what I've observed, their mind state is, we got a good thing going here. We got a phenomenal lead with the PlayStation 4. Let's milk this motherfucker until it starts to decline. I do think while sales are still high for the PlayStation 4, they'll release a PlayStation 5. But if you're Sony, why would you do it? Are you that scared of Microsoft? I don't think so. Uh-oh. Everybody going?
I'm here.
Oh, you here? Oh, okay. But no, that's what I was saying. I mean, what do you think about that, D? Like, I don't think that at this point in time, Sony's really afraid of Microsoft at all to really come out. You know what I mean? Or is it, what am I missing here?
I don't know. I just think it's 2020 based on the Xbox One X just launching not too long ago. I don't see them coming out next year. Okay. The cloud, I agree with you that the cloud's going to be a very important part. And I definitely Microsoft's console, but I think the PlayStation 5 too. I think it's going to play a role because I've been doing some of the cloud gaming on the GeForce Experience. I'm in the beta of it. Yeah. And I got to tell you, you can have a fucking potato. And you can run some great looking games. Oh, wow. Like, okay. The streaming service is no joke. You know, the only thing holding it back really is people's internet. Now, of course, I'm afforded great internet, so I got like 1 terabyte per second. You know, 1 gig per second. So, you know, my internet is fantastic. You know, and for those that do have good internet, this streaming option is gonna be phenomenal. But I still think they need to have the specs in these systems proper because not everyone's going to be able to play streaming stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a hard call to see where they're going to be going next gen. I'm excited. I'm interested, but it's a hard call. It's a hard call because
let me say something to people.
Because like
go ahead. Go ahead, D. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's a hard call because we don't know how much streaming is going to play a role into the next generation. Because you have Google jumping into this market too, mm-hmm. and Google, they got money, man. So mm-hmm. they got the money for the servers. So I can't see the Google console being some all-powerful console. I more see it being some type of streaming solution. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong on that, but I think they're going to go with some type of streaming solution. They're going to try to do something that these other consoles aren't doing. They're going to say, hey, we'll sell you a system for $200. You can stream games 4K 30 with fucking ultra settings, And some people are going to jump on that.
All right, let me say this to the chat. I love y'all like Zeke say, like kids that I'm birthed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, man. Y'all sitting up here in this chat talking about cloud gaming. You niggas say cloud. Look, y'all motherfuckers need to open your eyes and start reading this shit. Yeah, Satya Nadella in 2014 told y'all that we are no longer a software company. We're a cloud service-based company. He said that nobody paid attention, y'all, including myself. He's been saying it time and time again. When he let Terry Myerson go in March, Terry Myerson gave this heartfelt email. Oh, I love y'all. Been here for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. What does Satya Nadella do? Yeah, he say shit about Terry Myerson. He said, we're pairing it to the future because we're a cloud-based game where Windows is not going to be instrumental to our service, our services anymore. Y'all keep laughing at this shit. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is going to be the shit. I don't like this. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it. But here's what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so if you don't like it either, stop laughing at it and speak up about it. Do your research, okay?
When you have all these big companies like NVIDIA, AMD doing behind the scenes testing for streaming, you better believe it's coming.
Exactly. This is the thing that bothers me. Microsoft keeps getting away with a lot of this shit that I personally don't like because people keep Microsoft is fucked. This ain't gonna happen. And what they do, a 68 Metacritic game beats God of War and Detroit Become Human, and they're gawking about that. So that sends a signal back to them. Oh, our low fidelity stuff is working.
Hey yo, listen, check it out, right? And I listen, and I'm Lito's Xbox guy. They hate me. They say I done pulled the Iron Wolf. They hate me more than Iron Wolf right now, right? Check it out, right?
No, you did the whole Hollywood Hogan thing, man. Straight up.
But listen, I told the truth though.
Sticky brother.
Yeah, but listen, I told the truth, man. Forget the theatrics, me ripping off my shirt and drinking wine and shit. Everything I said was the truth, though, right? And listen, Moss, remember when I met, I tweeted Phil, realistic games, graphics, or whatever. I forgot how I worded it, right? And he didn't answer. He chose to answer me, live when we did the Beast Fire live on air, right? Cool, kudos, shout out to Phil, true fuck nigga for that, right? But me reading the comments under there. Phil, forget what you're doing an awesome job. Thank you for Lucky Charms. You know what I mean? My nephew tore his Achilles heel during soccer practice, and we all sit by this Hanukkah, and I'm reading this shit and listen, I'm gonna stop being so messy, but I don't give two fucks sometimes. You know what I mean? It's whoever can find the thread, look at some of those comments, right? Mm-hmm. And again, that's when just reading that, you know what I mean? And shout out to my boy, Kid Smooth, man. We whooped his ass this week on multiplayer. I don't know, these motherfuckers are abused and battered wives. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, that's why I start to question people's integrity. How could you be cool and okay with the last 2 years? Just think about it. And again, it's not about what Sony have, because they're getting the thing, well, Sony didn't have this or this then, this point to end, or Sony didn't have that then. But we're talking about now. We're not going to go back and say what they did, because I can care less. If this is my preferred console, forget what Sony didn't do for their fans. Then we're talking about right now. What the fuck is going on? How the fuck did we get here? Was okay? No, I didn't say it was okay. If you know me, listen, I've always been consistent on this platform. I used to make fun of those Sony guys when they was bringing up games like Octodad and Rezo Gun and shit like that. It is what it is. Now, again, but when that's why I realized, like I say, a weirdo is a weirdo, no matter the goddamn controller, right? Even when the X, right, were in the Pro before they was officially announced, and of course, my black ass here was telling everybody they were coming, right? Now, I marked myself with Noah out there building the ark. Here's a flood is coming. No one believed me, right? Then finally, everybody got on board and said, well, we don't want the community to be fragmented and this, that, and the other. Remember, because again, and I would hate the question, he wants integrity, but the developers, Bluehole, said they had, said they had, what do you call it? What's the PUBG up to 60 frames or 45 frames of 2 weeks having the dev kit, right? So they were shooting for a 1080p 60 or whatever the key, 60, right? Then quietly you had fucking Xbox. He's one of the guys. No, it's not fair if the guys got the X and they're at 60 frames and we at 30 frames. That wouldn't be fair.
Crazy.
Now again, we talk. And what did Microsoft do? Again, went out there. Then they make it. Oh no, it's gonna be 30 frames. Now again, this is what listen. We all know that PUBG runs like shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But one thing I do give Sony credit for, and I'm not saying this is subjective, whether you like H1, but H1Z1, whether you like the game or not, is 60 frames on the Pro, 47 frames on the standard. You know what I mean? No issues. It is, if you can get it to 60 on the Pro, you get what you paid for. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And again, this is Microsoft, again, being so afraid of their own shadow. Be the fucking behemoth. You worry about pissing off gamers that already bought your fucking console. Yep. Not everyone who plays a fighter has a fight stick, or Flight Ace Combat has that $200. You know what I mean? It's like you get what you pay for. Not everyone on PC has the same frame rates. You know what I mean? And again, they truly hampered the launch of the X by far. You know what I mean? Just that alone, like they did, man. And again, and Randolph thought he was on the multiplayer, and we talked after the show, and just for me being an old school console guy, right? I don't think Microsoft again. They're ever gonna probably win another NPD. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Because you know what I mean, and again, that's a little disheartening. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that again, because it's competition, and I've and again, I said this numerous times. Microsoft doesn't care about winning, as long as they have their name on the trophy at the end of the race to get into the winner. They're fine with that. You know what I mean? No generation left behind or no console. You have to cut if you want people to buy your new console. You're gonna have to stop. You're gonna have to put exclusive software there only. You know what I mean? The same rate you cut off the 360, Microsoft's most successful generation yet, right? Because motherfuckers wasn't making the switch. They had to build the cord on it. You know what? That's it for the 360. Hey, bring your shit over to the Xbox One, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think next gen, for the first year, I could understand. Of course, you're gonna have some cross-platform games, and that's fine because you know not everyone's gonna want to jump on board right away. But after the first year, they should stop focusing. Maybe release the odd few games on it, but really stop the focus of that system and put it towards the next gen. That's when you're really gonna be able to see some great-looking games because you don't have to worry about the previous systems, right? They
Yeah.
can put all their emphasis on the new generation of games. Now, I don't know what Microsoft is gonna do. I think, of course, all of the games that are playing on the Xbox One S and the X will be able to be played on the next generation hardware. But I don't think all of the games that are on the next generation hardware should be able to be played on the lower systems. Because I'm
Absolutely.
pretty fucking sure that Sony's not going to do that shit.
Absolutely.
They might allow backwards compatibility, but they're not going to have any type of forward compatibility. The games that are playing on the PlayStation 5 will not fucking play on the regular PlayStation 4 or the Pro.
Oh
in my
no,
opinion,
no,
they might have a team, a separate dev team that makes a cross-gen game, you know, so that you can still play that same title on the system. But I don't think it'll be like a different team handling it, and it would be maybe in the first year. But for sure, they're not looking to put their PlayStation 5 games on the regular PlayStation 4 because Sony they just don't roll like that.
Hold on, let me just this guy in the chat. My man Kirk the Rooster. Shout out to you, good brother. We're friends on Facebook. He says 7.4 T flops is not in next generation. No, I understand. I'm not saying that the PlayStation 5 will be 7.4 T flops. I'm just going by the article here. And again, this is from AMD developer Dev. He said that to achieve native 4K at 30, you need at least 7.4 T flops of GPU compute power. You know what I mean? So at a minute, if the X is already 6 T flops already, so going forward, you can best to believe that Microsoft next generation console is not going to be 7.4. It'd be at least 8, 9. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Sony. You know what I mean? So neck and neck around the same thing. So at a minimum, you know, we're not. You know, the Pro. I'm sorry. At a minimum, the PlayStation 5 will be at least double the power of the Pro. That's just it is. That's just, you know what I mean. But what I was saying, imagine if we didn't get the X and didn't get the Pro, right? It's said that the X and the Pro could have been, well, the Pro could have been Sony's PlayStation 5 and the X could have been Microsoft next generation console.
Well, thank God it didn't go that way for PlayStation because they would have.
Well, I mean, just looking what they're, I mean, they're able to look at. You know, again, I'm to be fair. I mean, besides the, I mean, I hope a beefier CPU, but if you're going from, look at it this way, if you're going from Infamous Second Son to the Ghost of Tsushima, that's a fucking big leap. Whether you like the game or not, or if you're going from Uncharted 4 to The Last of Us 2, again, that's a fucking big leap. You know. Now I don't know, but now it's different when it comes to third parties and multi-plats. You know what I mean? You know, and them, you know, it is what it is. Going to port across, but you know what they were able to do with that box is fucking amazing. Or even look at Spider-Man. Like, goddamn,
It's amazing.
Yeah, compare Spider-Man and Knack or internet shit that came at the beginning of the generation. You're like, oh shit. You know,
this is what I hope. This is what I hope Microsoft does. I know that they got the pocketbook open now. I hope they really start to pummel their talent over at Sony. You know, pillage them. You know, put the money out there. Say, oh, how much you getting? Okay, you know what? We're gonna increase that by 20%. Why don't you come over here?
But
because they got all of the talent over there, and I think that's a big reason why they moved some of their that studio to Santa Monica because they want to get some of that talent that's out there.
Chris Jones said next generation 8K checkerboarding PlayStation 5. I know they were they would talk us what 8K sets or something.
Yeah, 8K. Okay, first of all, 8K is pretty far away. Now, later on this year, we are gonna have some 8K sets. So Samsung is gonna release an 8K set.
A TV?
But they are.
How much?
But there's we don't know how much it's gonna be yet. But they're gonna later on this year in the fourth quarter, they're gonna release an 8K set. Now there is not really any 8K content.
Oh, hell no.
We're just starting to break into 4K. And what that TV basically does is it takes 4K content, it analyzes it, and it upscales it to 8K. So for you guys thinking that any 8K console is coming out anytime soon, or it's going to be some type of standard, it's not. If I had to make an educated guess, 8K is at least 5 to 6 years away.
It being mainstream like 4K was.
Yeah.
Go figure. I mean, yeah. All right, well, shit, man. Well, like I said, I'm not gonna keep you guys here too much longer. I'm about to hop on Twitch in a minute. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add to the conversation? But listen to add what you said. But if Microsoft was smart, they will try to poach some of Sony developers, whatever the case may be. And I'm gonna go back to again what Rand was saying. Or what wouldn't I just don't think they care. You know what I mean?
No, they don't. They don't.
I don't think they care. Now they do have what you call it. What's the goddamn studio's name? Team. Well, not team. What's the goddamn? They have Hellblade. What's the name?
Ninja
Theory. We don't know what the initiative is going to do. Playground games. Next game or two games supposed to be a open world multiplayer type game. You know what I mean? We all can agree that Forza Horizon looks amazing. You know what I mean? But I hope not. You know what I mean? I really do. I hope not.
Here's what I'm urging people to do, because I mean it's coming down to the wire, and people want to get mad at Z for Z. You know what I'm saying? Speaking up and putting the feet under their fire. But like even Tim Dog told you, if it wasn't for Z, you wouldn't have seen them even try to press as hard as they did for this E3. He told you he knew this himself. What I'm saying to everybody is that it looks, by all intents and purposes, that the current strategy is to develop games, not necessarily hardcore games, except for your Halo, Gears, and Forza. There might be one here and there that may pop out every now and again. But outside of Halo, Gears, and Forza, they're just looking for low-fidelity games that are easily transferable via this cloud on phones, tablets, and laptops. If you don't like that, Xbox fans, open your goddamn mouths. Not to Wood Buff Phil, but open your open your goddamn mouth to say something about this, because they're moving forward with this full blast. Period.
Full blast. I mean, they got some crazy shit. Zaire is PS5 next year, that or you buying a PC. No, I'm a console dude. I mean, at the end of the day, I love the simplicity of, regardless of what you guys would think, I have a very capable PC. I think I laugh at this shit, but it is what it is. Maybe one day, you know what I mean? Fuck it. It doesn't even matter. But anyway, I just, again, I like the simplicity of consoles. I do.
I'll say this though. It's not.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not really related to what we're talking about here, but I did cover a story earlier today on the Xbox getting the S and the X getting the Dolby Vision support. Obviously, we know about the streaming apps, but today they also announced that in the fall it's going to support 4K Blu-ray disc Dolby Vision support as well. And I think that's huge, because a 4K Blu-ray player that supports Dolby Vision, they're kind of expensive right now. And in the fall, when this update drops, the Xbox One S, I'm gonna assume the S is gonna drop in the fall as well, close to Black Friday and whatnot. You're gonna see a lot of people picking up that console. So I don't know. Microsoft, business wise, they're smart at what they're doing, and it is making money. But at the same time, I don't want them to be satisfied. Yeah, we're making money. Yeah, we're more successful than the 360. I want them to address the hardcore as well, and I want them to do better. I want them to be the very best. I want them to deliver graphics on par, if not better, than what Sony is offering. And I'm hoping that next gen they're going to do that. I don't really agree with Mighty Moss here that, you know, they're going to be releasing more of these games in the vein of Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2.
They make money.
Yeah, they make money, but imagine those games with great graphics as well. It would make a lot.
I mean, here's the thing. Be honest with
you, because the gameplay is on point. It's just the graphics. And now that these studios have the full backing of Microsoft, they can crank out the graphics because they got the money for it now.
Check it out, right? Let me get this is the realistic truth as far as business, right? And I hope Mighty Mouse is not wrong. I mean, I hope it's not right. I'm sorry.
I hope so too.
but you look at it like this, though, right? You look at it, even though, like you said, you take God of War, right? Whatever it costs Sony to make that game, but that game is not set up to make money. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It may outsell. What do you call it? Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, but when it comes to revenue, those games will out earn it. You know what I mean? You know, it is what it is because the way that they're set up. You know, or down to you take a game like Overwatch or whatever. You mean the way that the game is set up, it may outsell it in the long term. It may sell more units, but the way those games are set up, again, you say games with services or whatever, they just want to continue to make money. You know what I mean? And from I say fighting the console war, whatever the fuck the case may be, will Sea of Thieves outsell fucking God of War? No. Will it probably ever chart again? No. It's probably that it had its time in the sun. They did that month, which is kudos to them. But again, well, it might be on MPD again because, like I said, they go by actually with revenue, and it has a cult following. You know what I mean? But when you talking about unit per unit, what it outside of games, no. So again, Microsoft, we're talking about them being so good at business. They sit back and they're looking at that again. I just made 2.5 when a diabetic died, right? Because again, it's down to a business, right? Because I've always asked this shit, right? This is real shit. How the fuck did we get here? I didn't want the Xbox cat in town. Terry Myerson. And that's what I'm talking about. We gotta stop all this shit. Terry Myerson didn't believe because they had money. How many goddamn controllers did we get? How many goddamn controllers did we get under Terry Myerson?
Yo, it's crazy, man. How they just plucked this dude.
We just came up with a goddamn turntable control for the handicap. How many goddamn controllers did we get under Terry Myerson?
All I'm gonna say is this, real quick, Z. I'm gonna shut up. What would you say was the biggest acquisition that Xbox made, game wise, this generation? Minecraft, right?
Yeah,
Minecraft was a huge hit. Who signed off on that deal? It was Phil and Terry. Okay, Terry wasn't in the Bahamas somewhere. He's had to sign off on that shit. So this whole thing that Terry Myerson is the devil and this is why the babies can't eat in third world countries, just stop it.
Hey, bro. I say this all the time. But you know what? They always say, like, I'll give you an example on BGST. Say, why you don't check them? And listen, they're my people, my brothers. I don't agree with 99.9% of it says. Say whether it was a media bias, yes. Whether you agree or not, fine. But again, we can't just go. It is what it is, right? But Microsoft didn't do themselves no favors either. Let's be fair. And a lot of their wounds have been self-inflicted this generation, right? Now, with that being said, right, we're down to their messaging. I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? You know what I mean? It's like you say, my wife say, whatever, Zaire, take the trash out, you black motherfucker. No, this shit stink. You know what? We all gonna smell shit for at least 2 more days. I'm gonna shut down. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of dude. You know what I mean? I'm stubborn like that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? And their messaging. And again, this goes back that Microsoft doesn't really have that front man. Still, you got Phil, fine, but the Jay Allard, or you remember those guys? I mean, they were much more than what I mean. And again, you have, like I said, this Microsoft now. They're just afraid of their own shadows. They're sticking to their guns. And the reason why I said, look at the console that they showed us at the beginning of E3 2013. Everything on the cloud or digitally wise, you could trade your game digitally. Like, to me, that I was all for that shit. And most people, again, with online, they were complaining about this shit. Who the fuck buys a next generation console who doesn't have some form of internet? Like come on, you know what I mean? And again, Microsoft did a horrible job at explaining the benefits of that. You know what I mean? Which again is their fucking fault. You know what I mean? Had they came out and explained it better, you know what I mean? And again, God don't like ugly. You see what GameStop is going through right now. No longer when you went into GameStop, will they be able to give you $2 for a week old goddamn Assassin's Creed? The developer, they got a piece. And not to say that I'm some bleeding heart for developers, but again,
what happened? I missed that. What happened?
Well, no. What I said was, you look at the console that they showed us at E3 2013, all of the features, us trading our games online with amongst each other, or when you went into GameStop, when you wanted to trade in a game, they would no longer be able to give you $1.50 for a week old title. The shit that GameStop does.
GameStop is the cancer to gaming.
Listen, it's crazy, right? When I say this, right? Oh, it's not how you say that I'm some bleeding heart from developers. You have shitty developers out there, you know what I mean? But again, just say gaming or whatever. It's not about who can sell their used games. Listen, just like, you know what I mean? Because when you walk into GameStop, right, and you say you're gonna spend $60, right? And you're gonna buy Assassin's Creed, right? But you can get it for $50 or $55, right? And also Ubisoft is competing against EA, they're competing against Konami and stuff like that. But now they're also competing against the motherfucker that's in charge of selling their software. So you may have bought their game, but Ubisoft, whoever the fuck, they get any of that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck the case may be. And we're talking about when it comes down to these, unique gaming experience, which are expensive to make, which are, a gamble. You know what I mean? A game will. You know what I mean? Not everything's like, Horizon Zero Dawn was a success for them. Shout out. But not everything's going to be a Horizon Zero Dawn. Not everything's going to be a God of War. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck. If you look at it, also now, I'll sit this in the show numerous times. Like, I don't change. A lot of people get caught up in the theatrics. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Look at the amount of games we had last generation, right? All different types, right? To what we have now. Assassin's Creed was a new fucking franchise. Gears of War was a new franchise. Call of Duty was a new franchise, but you know what I mean, really saw a stride last generation. A few got that game, and look to what we've got new this generation. Maybe Titanfall. I would say I can't even say Destiny, because Destiny was on 360. You know what I mean? We didn't get that many new franchises. You know what I mean? New.
Well, Division. We got the Division.
We got the Division. Okay, but what else from them?
Horizon Zero Dawn. You talking about platform specific or third party? What are you talking
whatever.
About?
Just.
Yeah, we did get a few. We got Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
We got the Division.
Okay.
The Tom Clancy one. The one that they just released it. I forget the name of it right now. Released last year.
Rainbow Six.
Oh, was it Rainbow Six?
Oh,
not Rainbow Six. No. It was a different one. Oh fuck! It wasn't Rainbow Six, man. It was a Ubisoft game. They released. I forget the name of it, but no, not Wolfenstein.
Ghost Recon. I'm talking about new.
Yeah, Ghost Recon. Yeah,
that's not a new franchise. It's been around forever since the PS2.
Well, they kind of, I guess they kind of rebooted it.
I'm talking about new developers taking chances and making new fresh. The Scalebound is something new, something fresh.
Yeah, you know what? The PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era. That's when we really saw a lot of new IPs where these guys really took chances. Now this generation, they really did play it safe.
Yeah. So again, that's why I'm saying, you know what I mean? And again, it comes down to business, or you have games that whether you like it or not, you take a game like what do you call it? The Order 1886. I got the concept. What I didn't like about the Order was, besides it being a little linear, I didn't have I love the story of it, but my thing was with the gun mechanics. Very pretty game. I just hate the fact when I took the time to line up, the bullet didn't hit the target. That bothered me more than anything. But it wasn't that bad. I would love to see them to have made a sequel to it. Or Until Dawn, you know what I mean? But again, games like that are a risk.
Until Dawn was amazing.
Yeah,
you know what? That one flew under the radar, man.
Yeah, games like that are a risk. You know what I mean? And it's sad to say, you know what I mean, that we may not see a sequel to those games. Well, you look at Rise. Nothing wrong. Like, again? That was good. Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, Rise, I believe, again, had it not been in the launch title, it was the combat was very repetitive. Had they got you a little fire, a little magic or something, wouldn't have been. But again, the story was ill. You know what I mean? Story was ill. It went from being a Connect title to being a launched game, and the story was the guys were playing the game with wager. It kind of put you on what's that shit? Maximus.
Yeah.
What's the name of the goddamn game? Not Sparta. What's the name of the movie? Gladiator. It puts you in the mind of Gladiator. You know what I mean? If you didn't play, you know what I mean? It puts you in the mind of Gladiator. You know what I mean? Your family and everybody was killed, and you want to just kill the king, and but you got dope. You know what I mean? Story wise, but it was a little repetitive as far as the combat. You just got the same. Once you got kills, but you know what I mean?
And I gotta say, if there was ever a case for a sequel, that game should have gotten a sequel and just correct the mistakes of the first game, because it was a good game, and those mistakes could have been easily corrected with a sequel.
Or did I say Quantum Break 2?
Yes.
You see, you know what I mean? And again,
Quantum Break, I don't think they made any mistakes in Quantum Break. The only thing, it was just held back by the hardware. And of course, you got the X now. And of course, you got the next system coming out. I definitely want to see a sequel to Quantum Break, especially how it ended.
But what I'm just saying, to go back to what you were saying, you look at a game like Quantum Break, great graphics, right? But not much replay value after you beat it. You know what I mean? They do any DLC. So, you know what I mean? So again, to say if Quantum Break outsold Sea of Thieves, we'll outsell Sea of Thieves, right? Long term. But again, a game like Sea of Thieves is gonna make way more money than Quantum Break, because it's designed for you to go back in and you understand what I'm saying? So, and again, you listen. What's his name? Yoshida. We about to go right now. Yoshida just released the interview talking about the PS3 and it was, the launch of it and the most successful, of the PlayStation 2. Believe it or not, launch this-wise was The Matrix 2. And as I also said too, that I didn't start buying DVDs until I got a PlayStation 2. And the reason a lot of the sales for the PS3 because it was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market. You know what I mean? It's fact. I mean, it is, but there's nothing wrong with that. And to add to what you're saying, if Microsoft marketing is right, like I said, their marketing is horrible. You're talking about a cheap Blu-ray player, I mean, a 4K Blu-ray player with the S, $150 this holiday season package. But hey, listen, what was the biggest movie this year? What Black Panther? Black Panther DVD Blu-ray, right? 4K. I mean, Black Panther was
Avengers is going to be the biggest one this holiday.
But I'm just saying, but even if Avengers is going to be the biggest movie, right? A no fucking brainer. Do a deal with fucking whoever, Disney. Get a fucking Adventure theme, goddamn Blu-ray play. You mean as Sword X? Stuff like that just been a day late and $1 too fucking short.
Hey, that Black Panther Xbox One X. I know people like to clown say, "Oh, look, it's an exclusive to the Xbox the Black Panther," but that console was fucking fire.
I would have bought another one for that, or even the Cuphead one that they did. You know what I mean? They just didn't do any of that shit this generation, man. The few theme ones that they made were nice. They did the Forza one, but they were few and far between. Gamers, us nerds, we like shit like that. You know what I mean? If Sony comes out and announce a PS4 Pro, a Spider-Man one, guess what I might do? I might be getting me a PS4 Pro Spider-Man bundle. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. And again, it's just about who spends what. Cheap, all this. Actually, we talking about Microsoft, $1 billion company. Somebody didn't have. When motherfuckers say they didn't have the money, they sound crazy as hell saying that. Here you had Sony. I'm not to get too long. We're gonna get the hell out of here again. You had Sony selling the fucking refrigerator, everything, the fax machine, taking their lunch to work. They couldn't eat out lunch.
It was bad.
For them, and
their stock was rated as junk.
Yeah, listen, and listen. They still gave the Pro. They still gave the Pro. They still gave VR, whether you like it or not. Still gave us Slim. Still did third-party deals with exclusive content. Still gave themed consoles. You know what I mean? Microsoft didn't do any of this shit this generation. Oh, they gave us the X. Okay, fine. Whoop de fucking do. That shit was paid for in 2012. Fine. Fucking where's the games? Where's the deals? You know what I mean? And they just don't get it. I don't know, man. Shout out my brother Emerald14. Killmonger thing console would have been fire. Yes. Tease it when you want, but listen, if your competitors doesn't have it, you know how many fucking back in the day, how many fucking commercials, not say a lot, but Sony advertising the PS3 as the best Blu-ray player. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you gotta flaunt what you got. You know what I mean? And they, they just don't get it. You know what I mean? I would have bought a fucking Wakanda Forever goddamn Xbox One X. I don't know what those deals would cost, but that's a no fucking brainer, man.
I think so many mistakes were made this generation on Microsoft's part that I think they're forced to get it. And I think
you think so?
Yeah.
Hey, they made $2.5 billion not getting it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just going by the statements that are coming out, and them, the first thing to solving a problem is to first acknowledge it, and they have acknowledged it. So I'm optimistic.
Alex said Z wants to go back to the Xbox side, but his contract says something different. hey, bro, check it out, real shit, right? I'm gonna keep it funk. I'm gonna keep this shit all the way a buck, right? And again, I will always own every goddamn console. I will always own everything. Besides, I ain't fucking with the Nintendo shit. I will always own an Xbox because I love Gears of War. You know what I mean? I got a lot of friends there. You know what I mean? But it always comes down to the games. And again, what's important. And you have, again, one company. You're talking about a guy, how you say, be the behemoth, bleed green, right? And listen, I always see you guys that my integrity is always in question. I'll be the first to tell you that I ain't the most honest guy alive. Rob still killing all that shit, right? But about the games, whether you say I'm a Cavs or whatever the case may be, and you just have one company that gets it and that speaks more to my needs. You know what I mean? Pause. You know what I mean? Not to sound so sensitive, like they're giving, like bro, listen. This is what I'm saying. This is being honest, right? And getting the biggest knife in drawer and cutting the bullshit out. If you're looking at what Sony's doing, whether you like these games or not, you got they started with Horizon and whatever. God of War, Detroit, Spider-Man, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean? Neo 2 is coming. Death Stranding, I don't know what the fuck that's about. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you had the other smaller titles, you had the Yakuzas and the Automata, and then over here, what we've got in the last 2 years again were fucking Voodoo Vince, Recore, Disney Rush, Phantom Dust original assets.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, but they're looking at me like I'm bugging the fuck out. Like, bro, I'm a consumer. It's not my. I remember shut up. God bless Kid Smooth Heart. You know, he fried up his camera. I'm gonna be the king of the Xbox Nation. I said, fuck nigga, heavy the head that wears the crown. I got more game achievement just you naming all these dumbass games. Screen Bride. Zaire didn't play Screen Bride. He didn't play Just Dance. He didn't play Disney. No, I'm not playing that fuck shit. I don't. You know what I mean? That's not. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I mean, I have. Listen, God bless his heart. I love Smooth to death. Pause. But you know, I mean, like, we bugging. That's not my job to go out there and buy all that dumb shit. I mean,
I'll say this to all the Xbox guys out there disheartened at Z's change of character.
But I'm speaking the truth, though. They need the truth.
I'll say this. I can tell you when the contract will be ripped up and eaten on air.
I hope so.
And that is when Playground Studios announces the new Fable game, and they show it, and it looks amazing. Z will get on air and eat that contract.
Listen, listen, real shit, right? I hope Microsoft wows me, right? You see me out there smashing my PS4 Pro in the middle of the street. Fuck you, ponies, right? And then Sony comes back and says, you know what? We got this over here, God of War 6, and I'm right back and smashing my. That's what you call good for gaming and fucking competition. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I wish Nintendo would fucking compete. You know what I mean? See with the Mario shirt, woohoo, fuck all that, right? But anyway, that's what's good for gaming, man. You know what I mean?
I'll say this: you've been hard on it, and I can't say it's all unwarranted. Sometimes it's a little extra. I'm just gonna keep it funky.
What's extra? You look at this last 2.5 years, and you tell me what the fuck did I say that was extra?
But you're coming from a point of truth. I gotta say it, and the truth of the matter is Microsoft needs to step up. You know, they've dropped the ball, and you know Sony is doing what they should be doing, and you know you can't be complacent. Like I've said 1,000 times, Sea of Thieves is fun for an hour. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit there and dog and say it's horrible. It looks horrible. It's okay, but it's fun for like an hour, and after that, that's it. You know what I'm saying? State of Decay, I enjoy State of Decay. I don't got anything really bad to say about State of Decay. However, they could have made it with better graphics. You know what I'm saying? Although the gameplay is on point, I like the community. I like everything about the game. The graphics could have been better. They should have put more emphasis on the graphics. You know, now that they own that studio, let's hope that the next State of Decay will come out with the graphics. Because that's the only thing missing from that game is graphics. But Sony, let's be honest, Sony right now, all their games look magnificent, and they look a generation beyond what Xbox is offering. Apart from, I would say, Forza and Gears of War, but the rest of the stuff that Microsoft has pushed out, it's not up to par. Even the last Halo was not up to par. It just wasn't.
Hold on. A post coming in late. Black man at the end of the show. A post. You got 5 minutes.
Yes, post. It was another RIP Xbox podcast.
You know what I mean? But, what's up, good brother?
That's how y'all feel. What's good, good brother? Now I just wanted to jump in and just I see y'all talking about this 4K thing.
Mm-hmm.
I read the article. So what this article isn't telling is it's in regards to the regular PS4. So 4 times the power 1.8 equals 7.4 teraflops at the quality of the PS4
graphics.
And if you look, it's a quality of the PS4 graphics.
We have now. Okay.
If you look at the Xbox One, at 1.3 teraflops, 4 times that will be 5.2, which is why they put the 6 teraflops in there, which gave them a little room. That's why it's so easy for Xbox games to do 4K. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
Again, while you're here, we're talking about minimum. I guess at what I say the show here, at minimum specs for next generation hardware, it's going to be at least 7.4. It's gonna be more powerful.
I think it's gonna be 8 or higher. It got to be the 8 or higher.
I said that. I between 8 to 10. You know what I mean? And again, so we talked about it numerous of the show. But here's what I'm gonna ask you before we go. You can answer. We close with this. Me, I'm gonna say the whole resolution. I can't tell the difference between dynamic, upscale, 4K, or whatever. I would rather have better graphics and a mandated, 60 frames be the standard. Games look good, so if it can't do 4K or whatever the case. Because again, engines may come. You might get Unreal Engine 5 next. Next generation in 2 years.
Yeah.
Things may change. May require more resources. But I would rather have better graphics and 60 mandatory. You know what I mean?
Than the high resolution.
Yeah, because again, I would. The resolution. I can't Personally, I can't tell the difference between native or dynamic. It's not. I got a good TV. It's not that serious. I've always said that. You know what I mean?
Neither the most of the people who argue over that shit can't tell a difference either.
Yeah.
Yet they still argue over it. Yeah, but I think you know what? It's all depends on developers. You know, you have developers out there that's graphic whores just like
Who?
just like the fans, and
Mhm.
they be like, "Fuck that 60. I'm finna put this immaculate game on the
Okay.
screen. Gonna chop it off at 30." And
Okay, but listen, here's the thing, though, right? And to be fair, I understand it's a business, and they, whatever the latest tech may be kind of cheap, but they may not necessarily want to pass the savings on to us.
yeah,
We all can agree that those Jaguar cores were trash. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know what came
man.
after the fucking Jaguar, but you know what I mean. If we talking about, well, Sony's probably going to come out next year.
I think Puma was after Jaguar.
Oh, well, Puma.
Yeah, that Puma, yeah.
Listen, if we talking about 2020, I will be very upset, and I'm not even a techie type guy. If the next PlayStation 5 or the Xbox have some fucking Puma fucking CPU.
Nah, they had to put that Jaguar in there to keep costs down, and plus with the original, the OG Xbox
with compatibility,
the capabilities,
I get that, but
It better not be no damn Puma, because I ain't going over this Ryzen thing all over again.
Oh,
no, they ain't
shit. They've been and killed my man D. They've been and put D on, put him in a casket.
Hey,
yo,
y'all,
listen.
hey, I can see it now. D finna start the Ryzen chip campaign up again.
Hey, yo, hold on. Hey, yo, bro. And them next year was come out, and that bitch got a Puma that motherfucker. Hey, D, yo.
I'm gonna have to log off, man.
Hey, yo, D, the D done changed. Who the fuck had the D that got a new channel? He out there chasing Patty LaBelle pies. He doing food reviews and shit, going to different restaurants and shit.
Man, they slapping. Man, I'm good. If they slap a Puma in it, man. If it's anything less than a Ryzen chip, man, I might have to think about getting a PC.
Hey, wait, hold up. Hey, listen. I will say this, post. You know, I gotta call you out for the fuck shit. You were talking about the X is gonna be around in 2022, and just that. Do you still feel that way? Now, or had that newness wear off? You know what I mean? And like, all right, damn. You know, like the honeymoon stage is over. 2019, 2020 new consoles, whatever the fuck. I'm there.
No. The reason why I was saying that because we still haven't seen what the X is capable of.
Okay.
As a standalone system.
Okay.
And I don't think we're gonna ever see what it's capable of as a standalone.
Why is
system.
that? Because of what?
Because of the S.
Okay, now listen.
Remember
I told you guys.
So
if Microsoft talking about no console left behind, remember I said this, and I told you, but what was told to me by a very reliable source. If they talking about no console left behind, right? And I understand you got the scale and just that and the other, where Sony just worried about making games from the ground up, of the Pro or the PlayStation 5, right? So even if Microsoft may have the more powerful hardware, don't be surprised again if Sony is weaker. They exclusively, still will look better, because again, see what Rob Ferguson said that Gears of War 5 was built from the ground up for PC, where Sony and Nintendo doesn't have to worry about that, right? And he talking about again, listen, there's no generation left behind, and again, I would like to see some exclusive Xbox next gen hardware that takes full advantage of the hardware, and not worry about 2013 hardware.
Yeah, me too, man. But I got to get back to work. Fuck
you got it.
I just wanted to hop in.
All right.
Love you dudes, man. I'll see y'all later, man.
You got it. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed the show today, do your boy a solid, hit the like button. You think my man D came up and hit you with that rising uppercut with them rising chips, hit the like button. If you think my brother
Rising uppercut.
You keep my brother Mighty Moss came in here and killed it. Today, hit the like button. If you enjoyed the show, you guys like arguing, you guys be cutting up in the chat, man. Shout out to my bro, the Ruham and Emerald 14 for the super chat. I appreciate it. D, final words? Are you still? Well, you close with me, but as far as no generation left behind.
Yeah,
Xbox,
man. I'm with you on that, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's why I was saying that. Again, what was told to me, if Sony just have to worry about the PlayStation 5, I'm not talking about back. Things being forward compatible. I understand they may sell more business, but they may sell more software. But we're just talking about, what about new generation? What about developers come out with third party, right? Let me say this last thing, multi-plat. Originally, I'm sorry, not originally, but they cut off the 360 and the XPS3 because they came up with new engines, right?
Yeah.
Unless they,
I think they went 2 years though. Didn't they go 2 years into the generation?
2 years. But again, I listen. But I also thought that was very unhealthy because again, Normally, when a new generation comes out, that's it for previous generation, and we got a lot of titles. You know, whether it was Titanfall, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Could you imagine how good those could have been if they were just on next generation hardware? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is. But anyway, guys, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you enjoyed the show today, I appreciate you guys for rocking out with me live. If you're gonna come back and rock out with me, I'm gonna play a little Fight Night, a little Gears, a little Last of Us multiplayer. I'm gonna be streaming. I'm gonna hook up my dog shit. I got the shittiest monitor in the world too, D. But anyway, I mean, just give me about. I promise you.
Game up.
Yeah, I'm just using it for OBS. I'm playing on my OLED. I'm just using it for OBS.
Oh no, OLED's a shit, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be playing my game on my OLED. And so how are we playing Mega 6? I think I was playing the game through. I'm using my OLED, of course, it's a PC monitor, but I'm looking at OBS on here. But I'm still fucking playing the game with my KS 9000 behind me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm, so the input lag was crazy. It's like, so I got a little, I bought a little 13-inch monitor. They teased me about it, so I could just hook my PC up to while I'm fucking streaming, so I could see the chat and the green screen and all that shit. But the shit is slow. You look at the screen, the shit is shitty. I'm gonna buy me a better monitor. It's like some fucking leapfrog shit, leap pad shit. Can you see it? I cut the camera. It's like this shit is trash, man. But I'm gonna use it for now for the day, man. But listen, ladies and gentlemen. Also, to here. This is my shameless plug here. Twitch. If you want to play a little whatever, I'm playing whatever today. This is my Twitch here. Hold up. So link this. They put the link to your last video in the chat too. I seen you did a video. Yeah. Hold on.
I don't think I have mod support, man.
Oh, okay. I type it. I'll make you mod. Here, follow me on Twitch. I'm about to, if you want to, rock out with me in the chat or whatever. And if you're not following me on Twitter, even though I'm in fucking Twitter jail. I can't even leave the link to my Twitter. I can't even get to my shit. Hey.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I got another 4 hours. But anyway, it is what it is. But anyway, this is your.
You got a countdown.
Yeah, I got a countdown. 4 hours. This shit crazy, man. Wow, but this is my. You can follow me though, even though I can't say nothing to you. But this is my Twitter. Yeah, that's the Twitter. Look at it and follow me. Oh, that's it.
Did you mod me so I can put it in the chat there?
Did you type something? I'm sorry. Did you type something? Type to say hey or something. To say hey or whatever. Make it link. Except the meat. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show, man. Appreciate it. You type anything. Yo, B, anything.
Oh, here we go. Wait, what the hell's going on here? God damn it! Hold on.
I got you. Well, I'm gonna say something. No, I know you gotta type. I can't do it. You gotta type. All
right, here we go.
Type something.
What's that noise in the background? Is that your dog tail wagging or something?
Oh, no, that's the fan. It's anything.
Oh, okay, there. All right, I typed.
You typed something in the chat?
There it is.
Okay, there we go. Bam. Add moderate. Now you can leave the last thing.
Oh!
You know, quick. All right, we can start everybody in the chat. The Black Ranger, Berserko, Gamer M, Fernando Bayron, Chris Jones, Gamer and Grind, Alex, Scooter Riding Ass Alex, Chili Hall, Emerald 14, yeah, Viewmaster. Yeah, Dolby Vision coming to the Xbox One X. Yeah, it is what it is. But oh, look at this big ass ant. Ant, big as hell. Jesus.
Steroids.
Yeah, that motherfucker, big black ants. Man. All right, but I'm out of here, man. Thank you for rocking out. Good show. I hope, love the show. Appreciate it, man. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Appreciate it.